Recently, I picked up a $16,000 projector for $50 to play around with here in my home theater. And the question you may be asking is, how did I get a $16,000 projector for $50? What is the catch with that projector? Well, the catch is it's 720p. And here in this video, I'm going to talk about the projector I picked up, the Sim2 C3X Lite that I got for $50. That's a 720p projector, and I'm going to talk about how I think 720p can still look pretty good in a home theater environment, even though it's not as good as a 1080p projector. So let's get into the video. 720p, it's not as high of a resolution as full 1080, and it definitely is not as high of a resolution as 4K, but it can still be viable in a pinch in a home theater. And that leads me to the video here today. We are talking about the Sim2 C3X Lite that I picked up for $50 recently off of Mercari. So this projector came out in 2005, so that is 20 years ago at this point. However, the Sim2 C3X Lite was not necessarily the flagship projector at the time when this came out from Sim2, but it was definitely a step above an entry-level projector. This is a 3-chip DLP projector that can put out over 1500 lumens if you have a brand new lamp and have it in full brightness mode, which I will talk more about that here in a second. And it can give you a contrast ratio of 5,000 to 1, which is actually pretty good when you see it in person in terms of contrast ratio, though it may pale in comparison to modern numbers that you see on more modern projectors in terms of contrast. But like I said, this is not necessarily the flagship. The full C3X flagship model had a much higher lumen count. It was pushing close to like 2,500 lumens, so almost 1,000 lumens more than this projector here. And the contrast ratio was a little bit beefed up as well on there. But this C3X Lite is no slouch of a projector, even though it is 720p. Now, the C3X Lite is not a behemoth of a projector similar to my Sim2 Miko or my HT5000. Those projectors weigh like 60 pounds and 100 pounds, respectively. This projector is not that large of a projector, but it does fall in line with more modern home theater projectors that you would find nowadays from the likes of JVC, Epson, Sony, manufacturers like that. This projector weighs about 20 pounds, give or take, and it is not a very large form factor in terms of space. Again, it really falls short of the size of both the Miko and the HT5000. It shows its age in some aspects, but the picture quality, the image, is still pretty good for what type of projector this is. Since it is a 3-chip DLP, there is no rainbow effect. The image really does look pretty filmic and cinematic with the image color and processing and everything that's in there. The only real catch is that it's 720. It's not a 1080 or a 4K projector, but it does accept a 1080 signal from your source material. So from a Blu-ray player, from a DVD player, maybe that has upscaling, from a gaming system or a streaming box of some description, it can accept a 1080 signal. It just will output that signal at a 720 image, which still does not look terrible here in 2025, though it is not as good as a 1080 or a 4K image that you can get nowadays. This does have a few options that are kind of outdated, that are more relics of the time that this came out in 2005. The big one, outside of the resolution being only 720, is the lens shift. This only has a vertical lens shift, where most modern projectors, almost any modern projector that you get that's more for a dedicated home theater, maybe not something that's a very budget-friendly option off of Walmart or Amazon, is going to have both horizontal and vertical lens shift. Now, some of them may have manual controls, some of them may be powered, where you can use a remote or the buttons on the actual projector to move the image, but almost all, if not all, home theater kind of dedicated projectors from any of the major manufacturers, and even older ones that are used like that I have here in my home theater, are going to have both vertical and horizontal lens shift. This projector here does not have that. Like I said, it only has vertical lens shift, and it's manual. It just has a little knob that you twist on the top of the projector. Now, in terms of connections, it has the basic connections you would have found in 2005. So it does have one HDMI port, it has standard video, it does have component video on there. It has the connections you would have seen back in 2005. But the features and the build of the unit is pretty good, pretty solid for what it is. Like I said, it's a pretty hefty projector. It's 20 pounds, give or take a little bit there. It's a really good, solid build construction, on it. Sim2 is kind of known for that over the years when they were making these projectors. And so that really is one of the standout points for this. The other standout point is the lens. This unit here came with two lens options. There's the T1 throw lens and the T2 throw lens. And I'm not talking about Terminator. The T1 is a shorter throw ratio lens, which honestly for my setup here in my home theater, I would probably need that. It's a shorter zoom lens. But what came in this one that I purchased is the T2 lens, which is a longer throw lens, similar to the throw ratio of my HT5000 lens that I have here. So when I project it up on the screen, even as far back as I can push it on my projector shelf that I have here for my projectors, it still does not fill the screen. It only gets it about 3/4 or maybe 80% of the screen is like filled with the image. But that does not mean the image is bad. So let's talk about the image quality. The image quality is still pretty cinematic and still a pretty decent quality image, especially for $50. When you go out and you find projectors on the used market or even on the new market that are $50, $100, $200, I mean, even up until you're getting into maybe like $250, $300 maybe on the used market, but especially on the new market, this projector, even at $720, is going to be pretty comparable in terms of image, even though the resolution is not the same as some of these newer projectors. And the main reason for that is not only the lens, which is very high quality, as I talked about a second ago. It's a all glass lens. It really is a high quality lens, especially for the time this was created. But the other thing is the 3-chip DLP technology that's in there. Because it is 3-chip DLP, you're still going to get the cinematic, filmic kind of look and color and saturation to the image, but you're not going to get any of the rainbow effect that you would get with a 1-chip DLP. So it has the 3 DLP chips for each of the primary colors. And so the image is really, really sharp. Honestly, it is sharper than my Sim2 Miko that I have here, and it is right in line with sharpness with my HT5000, which was a projector that retailed well over $50,000 when it first came out. So this projector's lens, the clarity, all that sort of stuff is really, really good. It is actually really solid for a projector being 20 years old. Now this projector has over 1,000 hours on it. I would not be surprised if this thing is only maxing out in full brightness mode, maybe like 300-400 lumens. It is not bright at all. And if you turn the lights on in the home theater here and not have it completely light controlled, complete blackout, black with no lights on, any sort of ambient light washes this image out. And that is the major downfall for this projector, at least this specific one I have here, is that if I really want to play around with this some more and really try and get the best image quality out of it, if I really want to, I'm going to have to buy a new lamp for it, because getting like 300 lumens just isn't usable here in the home theater. I don't mind having an image be a little bit darker because it does have its benefits. You get deeper black levels because the image is just overall darker on the screen, but you're also sacrificing peak brightness, where my Miko, my HT5000 can give you pretty deep black levels, very comparable to a projector that's putting out 300, 400 lumens, while still giving you 1,000 lumens of peak brightness on the screen. And so the image just has way more dynamic range and just much more pop, and it just feels just much more like an actual movie theater experience. Now, also in terms of image quality, colors and saturations, contrast ratios, stuff like that. The colors are okay in its current form. I think they would benefit from a new lamp. I think because of the lack of brightness, the fact that this thing is maybe putting out 300, 400 lumens at max if that. You're not getting the big color saturation that you would probably get with a new lamp that's putting out more lumens on the screen. It still looks serviceable enough. I mean, for $50, this definitely beats out most other cheap projectors you're gonna find on the used market or new projectors from, Walmart and Amazon, like I was saying a second ago. The black levels are really good, and shadow detail is pretty good because the lamp is so aged and that lumen kind of count is so low that the black levels look really good, but that's also going to sacrifice your brightness. So you're not going to get really high interesting contrast ratio because the really bright parts of the image are not really going to be bright white. They're going to be like a light gray color. So you're not going to get that huge dynamic kind of interesting contrast ratio in the image like you would with a newer modern projector, or even here with my Sim2 Miko or my HT5000. It's just not going to happen how it is. Again, if you get a new lamp, then maybe that's going to improve and be better. But what you're getting with this $50 projector that I picked up for this specific C3X light is serviceable enough for what it is, and I think it would really shine if I decided to buy a new lamp. Now, those lamps are probably going to be third-party knockoff lamps. I don't think you're going to find a genuine lamp really anywhere. And if you do, you're probably going to pay way more than this projector is actually worth to get a new genuine lamp. You can find the knockoff replacement lamps from various sites online, some that you might be able to trust, some that you definitely probably don't want to trust. They range in quality and price as low as like $50, $60 on ones that I think will probably burn out or not be anywhere near the claimed brightness level, all the way up to some that range around $100, $150, $200. That would probably be pretty serviceable, fairly comparable, to a genuine lamp. Probably just a little bit lower down, quality on that. But if you're someone who were to find one of these online for this price, you would definitely want to pick up a lamp, because I would go out of my way to say 90%, 95% of the time, if you find something like this, the lamp is probably going to be extremely dim with a ton of hours on it. So that is something you probably want to do if you find one of these out in the wild and you decide to like gamble on it and bring it into your home theater. Now, in terms of finding this projector or projectors kind of this generation and kind of this kind of make, model, whatever, you can still find them on the secondhand market online and maybe in your local area, depending where you live. My area, not so much, because I live in a small rural area in Illinois. There's not a lot of home theater stuff posted around here. I really have to travel a minimum of an hour, sometimes 2 or 3 hours, to find quality home theater gear on the used market here. But if you live in a more populated, bigger area, you might be able to find something like this. But on all the usual secondhand sites, your eBays, your Mercaris, every once in a while on like Shop Goodwill or some of those other places, you may see this pop up. And of course, like Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist in your area, if you live in an area that is more populated, that may have more home theater stuff. Now, one little tip, or maybe a word of caution, I don't know, if you're really interested in trying to pick one of these up, you need to look at the label on the bottom of the projector, and hopefully the seller has an image of it on the listing, or you can get in contact with the seller to send you an image of the label on the bottom of the projector. The reason you want to do this is going to tell you not only what lens is in the projector, but also what model it is, because there is a distinction, as I was saying earlier in this video, between the one I picked up, which is the C3X Lite, and the full C3X. And then you will also see like a C3X Loomis, which is a kind of later version of this that is 1080p and everything. So you really need to check the bottom of that label, and it will say on the bottom what model it is and what lens is in there. So you know the throw ratio and you know what model you're actually getting for your home theater. And one last thing about buying these used, my personal opinion, and this is just me, take it for what it's worth, for what I am and what I do here. I don't think this type of projector is worth more than maybe stretching it a couple $100. And that's if it's in really good condition, or if it's the full C3X model, or definitely if it's like a Loomis model. A couple $100 would be fine for something like that. The Loomis may be a little more. You could probably do 500, 600, or maybe even like 1,000, because some of those Loomis models are still really high quality flagship models for their time. When you're seeing like this, the C3X Lite on eBay or other sites, they've got them listed for like $3,500. That is nowhere near their value. You should definitely not pay that. Like I said, a C3X Lite in good working condition, maybe $100 or $200 if you can find one. You know, for 50 bucks, like how I picked it up, I think it's definitely a steal, definitely worth getting, you know, in your home theater just to play around with, like me. But if you're really wanting to get one of these, a couple $100 at the most is probably all I would pay, especially if you have to buy a new lamp and it's kind of deficiencies in terms of lens shift and stuff like that. I wouldn't spend more than that. And so with that, we're going to get to the end of the video. I want to hear from you guys in the comments below. You know, let me know your thoughts on whether or not a 720p projector is even worth having in your home theater at this point in time in 2025, if you think it's viable. I don't think it's viable as maybe a long-term solution, but I do think, especially if you can get an extremely high quality model like this, you know, a $16,000 projector that was near the top of the flagship list, maybe not the flagship, but kind of in the upper tier of 720p projectors, I think this still is pretty good, you know, for what it is, especially a 3-chip DLP that you're not going to get any rainbow effect. The lens on this is really one of the best lenses I've ever had, next to maybe my HT5000 lens that I have here. So this is really high quality in some aspects. So definitely let me know down in the comments your thoughts on 720p here in 2025. And with that, I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to say thank you to everyone like I always do. I really appreciate all the support. If you like this video, leave a comment, leave a like, consider hitting the subscribe button. I really do appreciate it. And I will see you the next time in the next video right here on Secondhand Home Theater. Thank you.